Hi, some of you are wanting to see progress on my new layout, so I've got a bit done now, so I feel comfortable showing it. This is a Great Northern Railways Ireland rail car, scratch built for me by my good friend Colin in England. So basically what you're looking at here is about 7 feet by 4 feet. It's not the full layout. The full layout will go right around this room. It's shelf level, which I wanted to work on. Now, the concept of the layout is it's AC and DC, like the last layout. But the reason why I went for a much higher layout this time was to elevate the layout up. So I was looking into scenes, where on the old layout, which is quite lower, much lower down, the viewpoint was like this. So that was the purpose of this layout. The upper deck, now this is what you're looking at here is really only one layout, this interior track here. This is an actual self-contained layout. This track here, although they can function as loops, and the Märklin track here, are basically return loops for the end of the layout, for to get the trains to go along, get a good long run around the wall. So that plays into the design function. Let me just stop. Whoops. The Great Northern rail car running away with itself there. Give you a closer look at that. He did a beautiful job on it. Anyway, so up here we have the Märklin part of the layout. Now, you'll see how I did the scenery. Basically, the top part is all covered in trees. So all the buildings are behind trees. This is the only European part of the layout. There will be, when the layout expands, there will be a British small layout and an Irish small layout and an American small layout. It'll be sort of like, think of miniature Wonderland in miniature version in my room here. Now, again, you see the buildings are hidden behind trees. The reason for this is it prevents me from having to detail in time. You know, eventually I will, but I can get buildings up right away. They're just sitting on the styrofoam. The whole layout's built on wood and styrofoam. Now, when I've used a wall here, you see that this will be an industrial area. Okay, and there's the turnout that will eventually lead to a bridge, and there's the main line that will eventually lead around the room. Now, if you look down here, the reason I did this was this part of the layout will be nondescript because I'll be running British, Irish, American, European trains on it. So down here, this could be generic Northern European, Western Europe, Northern Europe, Britain and Ireland kind of running. It's anywhere from New England to Austria or Eastern Europe. So with that in mind, buildings that you would find, like there's, you know, classically Germanic buildings, but down here you could find that anywhere in the parts of the world I'm modelling. And so when I'm filming with my better camera, taking pictures, yeah, the Märklin layout is up there, but that could be anywhere. So it provides really good filming and photographic opportunities and angles, and as well as for my personal enjoyment too as well. So there's also, I'll describe the 3 lines. The line that the Great Northern rail car that my friend Colin built is basically the local line. It's just, yeah, you can go to other tracks via these crossovers, but it's basically just for running trains on this board. Now off there is this kind of staging area, but it's only one track, and that's an imaginary branch line to somewhere. So that's basically a siding, as is that. So there's 2 sidings that you can actually do some switching and shunting on. The trains can run around to their heart's content. they can cross onto this main line. Now the main line here will eventually, although it does run within this room, it can also be run here. Now that's an old Pico rail car that has been remotored with a very good Tenshodo motor and directional lighting. So again, this is the international section. So some days I'll want to run American trains, some days I want to run British trains, some days I want to run Irish trains, German trains, you name it. The track is nearly all Pico A track, and the Märklin M track, and the old Märklin C track, which I had converted to DC. So basically, I just bought a small amount of new Pico track, which I'm very impressed with. So this is how it is so far. This is a work in progress, but to give you an idea of what I'm doing on it. Again, this is the international section. These buildings, you can find them anywhere. That's the whole idea. These flats. Up here, you're in Germany, but I can film and photograph and do tests on models from anywhere in the world down here, and it looks like what I'm trying to do. Western Europe, Northern Europe, Central Europe, North America, East Coast, Eastern Canada type scenery, New England, where all the railroads I'm interested in from that part of the world. So that's how we stand so far, and I'd be glad I've been able to have a chance to work on it now. But I also want to have a situation where I can film from the trains. Now, when you're on a train anywhere, just about anywhere, you're aware that there's trees on either side of the track. So I wanted to create that effect. You know, when you're on a train and you watch train videos where from the cab, there are almost always trees on either side. So I wanted to do that. Again, everything else is recycled. I want to show you some interesting thing. These are fantasy trees here. And I don't care if they look a bit OTT. I think they look great. And they're from, Fantasy Wargaming 28mm. And they've made kind of central blingy kind of trees. So basically everything was, apart from them, everything else was recycled from the old layout. And now I have room to build more. So now I can run 3 trains at the same time. I can run 2 DC trains, an American train, and eventually they'll be able to go right around the room by a bridge here from the Märklin line that will go to a long return loop, and that outer track there beside the factory, which will bring it around the room and back in on a return track, which is just behind the Great Northern Railcar. So that's how things stand so far. And thanks very much. Hopefully we'll have lots of fun in the months and years ahead.